And know that out of all the booty that ye may acquire in war, a fifth share is assigned to Allah, and to the messenger, and to near relatives, orphans, the needy, and the wayfarer. If ye do believe in Allah and in the revelation we sent down to our servant on the day of discrimination, the day of the meeting of the two forces. For Allah hath power over all things. Remember ye were on the hither side of the valley, and they on the farther side, and the caravan on lower grounds than ye. Even if ye had made a mutual appointment to meet, ye would certainly have failed in the appointment. But thus ye meet, that Allah might accomplish a matter already decided, that those who died might die after a clear sign had been given, and those who lived might live after a clear sign had been given. And verily, Allah is He who heareth and knoweth all things. Remember in thy dream Allah showed them to thee as few. If He had shown them to thee as many, ye would surely have been discouraged, and ye would surely have disputed in your decision. But Allah saved you, for He knoweth well the secrets of all hearts. And remember when ye met, He showed them to you as few in your eyes, and He made you appear as contemptible in their eyes, that Allah might accomplish a matter already decided, and unto Allah are all matters returned. O ye who believe, when ye meet a force, be firm, and call Allah in remembrance much and often, that ye may prosper. And obey Allah and His Messenger, and fall into no disputes, lest ye lose heart and your power depart, and be patient and persevering, for Allah is with those who patiently persevere. And be not like those who started from their homes insolently, and to be seen of men, and to hinder men from the path of Allah, for Allah compasseth all that they do. Remember, Satan made their sinful acts seem alluring to them, and said, No one among men can overcome you this day, while I am near to you. But when the two forces came in sight of each other, he turned on his heels and said, Lo, I am clear of you. Lo, I see what ye see not. Lo, I fear Allah, for Allah is strict in punishment. Lo, the hypocrites and those in whose hearts is a disease say, These people, their religion has misled them. But if any trust in Allah, behold, Allah is exalted in might, wise. If thou couldst see, when the angels take the souls of the unbelievers at death, how they smite their faces and their backs, saying, Taste the chastisement of the blazing fire. This is because of the deeds which your own hands sent forth, for Allah is never unjust to His servants. Deeds after the manner of the people of Pharaoh and those before them. They rejected the signs of Allah, and Allah punished them for their crimes. For Allah is strong and strict in punishment. Because Allah will never change the grace which He hath bestowed on a people until they change what is in their own souls. And verily, Allah is He who heareth and knoweth all things. Deeds after the manner of the people of Pharaoh and those before them. They treated as false the signs of their Lord, So we destroyed them for their crimes, and we drowned the people of Pharaoh, for they were all oppressors and wrongdoers. For the worst of beasts in the sight of Allah are those who reject him. They will not believe. They are those with whom thou didst make a covenant, but they break their covenant every time, and they have not the fear of Allah. If ye gain the mastery over them in war, disperse with them those who follow them, that they may remember. If thou fearest treachery from any group, throw back their covenant to them, so as to be on equal terms, for Allah loveth not the treacherous. Let not the unbelievers think that they have escaped. They will never frustrate them. Against them make ready your strength to the utmost of your power, including steeds of war, to strike terror into the hearts of the enemies, of Allah and your enemies, and others besides, whom ye may not know, but whom Allah doth know. Whatever ye shall spend in the cause of Allah shall be repaid unto you, and ye shall not be treated unjustly. But if the enemy incline towards peace, do thou also incline towards peace, and trust in Allah, for He is the one that heareth and knoweth all things. Should they intend to deceive thee, verily Allah sufficeth thee. He it is that hath strengthened thee with his aid and with the company of the believers. And moreover, he hath put affection between their hearts. Not if thou hadst spent all that is in the earth, couldst thou have produced that affection, but Allah hath done it. For he is exalted in might, wise. O Prophet, sufficient unto thee is Allah, unto thee and unto those who follow thee among the believers. O Prophet, rouse the believers to the fight. If there are 20 amongst you, patient and persevering, they will vanquish 200. If 100, they will vanquish 1,000 of the unbelievers. For these are a people without understanding. For the present, Allah hath lightened your burden, for He knoweth that there is a weak spot in you. But even so, if there are 100 of you, patient and persevering, they will vanquish 200. And if 1,000, they will vanquish 2,000, with the leave of Allah. For Allah is with those who patiently persevere. It is not fitting for a prophet that he should have prisoners of war until he hath thoroughly subdued the land. Ye look for the temporal goods of this world, but Allah looketh to the hereafter, and Allah is exalted in might, wise. Had it not been for a previous ordainment from Allah, a severe punishment would have reached you for the ransom that ye took. But now enjoy what ye took in war, lawful and good. But fear Allah, for Allah is oft forgiving, most merciful. O Prophet, say to those who are captives in your hands, if Allah findeth any good in your hearts, He will give you something better than what has been taken from you, and He will forgive you, for Allah is oft forgiving, most merciful. But if they have treacherous designs against thee, O Messenger, they have already been in treason against Allah, and so hath He given thee power over them. and Allah is He who hath full knowledge and wisdom. Those who believed and emigrated and fought for the faith with their property and their persons in the cause of Allah, as well as those who gave them asylum and aid, these are all friends and protectors, one of another. As to those who believed but did not emigrate, ye owe no duty of protection to them until they emigrate. But if they seek your aid in religion, it is your duty to help them, except against a people with whom ye have a treaty of mutual alliance. And remember, Allah seeth all that ye do. The unbelievers are protectors, one of another. Unless ye do this, protect each other, there would be tumult and oppression on earth, and great mischief. Those who believe and emigrate and fight for the faith in the cause of Allah, as well as those who give them asylum and aid, these are all in very truth the believers. For them is the forgiveness of sins and a provision most generous. And those who accept faith subsequently and emigrate and fight for the faith in your company, they are of you. But kindred by blood have prior rights against each other in the book of Allah. Verily, Allah is well acquainted with all things. A declaration of immunity from Allah and His Messenger to those of the pagans with whom ye have contracted mutual alliances. Go ye then for 4 months, backwards and forwards as ye will, throughout the land. But know ye that ye cannot frustrate Allah by your falsehood, but that Allah will cover with shame those who reject Him. And an announcement from Allah and His Messenger to the people assembled on the day of the great pilgrimage, that Allah and His Messenger dissolve treaty obligations with the pagans. If then ye repent, it were best for you. But if ye turn away, know ye that ye cannot frustrate Allah, and proclaim a grievous chastisement to those who reject faith. But the treaties are not dissolved with those pagans with whom ye have entered into alliance, and who have not subsequently failed you in aught, nor aided any one against you. So fulfill your engagements with them to the end of their term. For Allah loveth the righteous. But when the forbidden months are past, then fight and slay the pagans wherever ye find them, and seize them, beleaguer them, and lie in wait for them in every stratagem of war. But if they repent, and establish regular prayers and pay zakat, then open the way for them. For Allah is oft forgiving, most merciful. If one amongst the pagans ask thee for asylum, grant it to him, so that he may hear the word of Allah, and then escort him to where he can be secure. That is because they are men without knowledge. How can there be a covenant before Allah and His Messenger with the pagans, except those with whom ye made a treaty near the sacred mosque? As long as these stand true to you, stand ye true to them, for Allah doth love the righteous. How can there be such a covenant, seeing that if they get an advantage over you, they respect not in you the ties either of kinship or of covenant? With fair words from their mouths they please you, but their hearts are averse from you, and most of them are rebellious and wicked. The words of Allah have they sold for a miserable price, and many have they hindered from his way. Evil indeed are the deeds they have done. In a believer they respect not the ties either of kinship or of covenant. It is they who have transgressed all bounds. But even so, if they repent, establish regular prayers, and pay zakat, they are your brethren in faith. Thus do we explain the signs in detail for those who understand. But if they violate their oaths after their covenant, and attack you for your faith, fight ye the chiefs of unfaith, for their oaths are nothing to them, that thus they may be restrained. Will ye not fight people who violated their oaths, plotted to expel the messenger, and attacked you first? Do ye fear them? Nay, it is Allah whom ye should more justly fear, if ye believe. Fight them, and Allah will punish them by your hands, and disgrace them, help you to victory over them, heal the breasts of believers, and still the indignation of their hearts, for Allah will turn in mercy to whom He will, and Allah is all-knowing, all-wise. Do you think that you would be left alone while Allah has not yet known those among you who strive with might and main, and take none for friends and protectors except Allah, His Messenger, and the community of believers? And Allah is well acquainted with all that ye do. It is not for such as join gods with Allah to maintain the mosques of Allah, while they witness against their own souls to infidelity. The works of such bear no fruit. In fire shall they dwell. The mosques of Allah shall be visited and maintained by such as believe in Allah and the Last Day. Establish regular prayers, and pay zakat, and fear none at all except Allah. It is they who are expected to be on true guidance. Do ye consider the giving of drink to pilgrims, or the maintenance of the sacred mosque, equal to the pious service of those who believe in Allah and the Last Day, and strive with might and main in the cause of Allah? They are not equal in the sight of Allah, and Allah guides not those who do wrong. Those who believe and emigrate and strive with might and main in Allah's cause, with their goods and their persons, have the highest rank in the sight of Allah. They are the people who will achieve salvation. Their Lord doth give them glad tidings of a mercy from Himself, of His good pleasure, and of gardens for them, wherein are delights that endure. They will dwell therein forever. Verily with Allah is a reward, the greatest of all. O ye who believe, take not for protectors your fathers and brothers if they love infidelity above faith. If any of you do so, they do wrong. Say, if it be that your fathers, your sons, your brothers, your mates, or your kindred, the wealth that ye have gained, the commerce in which ye fear a decline, or the dwellings in which ye delight, are dearer to you than Allah, or His Messenger, or the striving in His course, then wait until Allah brings about His decision, and Allah guides not the rebellious. Assuredly, Allah did help you in many battlefields and on the day of Hunain. Behold, your great numbers elated you, but they availed you naught. The land, for all that it is wide, did constrain you, and ye turned back in retreat. But Allah did pour His calm on the messenger and on the believers, and sent down forces which ye saw not. He punished the unbelievers. Thus doth He reward those without faith. Again will Allah after this turn in mercy to whom He will, for Allah is oft forgiving, most merciful. O ye who believe, truly the pagans are unclean. So let them not, after this year of theirs, approach the sacred mosque. And if ye fear poverty, soon will Allah enrich you, if He wills, out of His bounty. For Allah is all-knowing, all-wise. Fight those who believe not in Allah nor the last day, nor hold that forbidden which hath been forbidden by Allah and His Messenger, nor acknowledge the religion of truth from among the people of the book, until they pay the jizya with willing submission, and feel themselves subdued. The Jews call Uzair a son of Allah, and the Christians call Christ the Son of Allah. That is a saying from their mouth. In this they but imitate what the unbelievers of old used to say. Allah's curse be on them, how they are deluded away from the truth. They take their priests and their anchorites to be their lords beside Allah, and they take as their Lord Christ the Son of Mary. Yet they were commanded to worship but one God. There is no God but He. Praise and glory to Him. Far is He from having the partners they associate with Him. Fain would they extinguish Allah's light with their mouths, but Allah will not allow but that His light should be perfected, even though the unbelievers may detest it. It is He who hath sent His messenger with guidance and the religion of truth, to cause it to prevail over all religion, even though the pagans may detest it. O ye who believe, there are indeed many among the priests and anchorites, who in falsehood devour the wealth of men, and hinder them from the way of Allah. And there are those who hoard gold and silver, and spend it not in the way of Allah. Announce unto them a most grievous chastisement. On the day when it will be heated in the fire of hell, and with it will be branded their foreheads, their flanks, and their backs. This is the treasure which ye hoarded for yourselves. Taste ye then the treasures ye buried. The number of months in the sight of Allah is 12 in a year. So ordained by Him the day He created the heavens and the earth. Of them 4 are sacred. That is the right religion. So wrong not yourselves therein, and fight the pagans altogether, as they fight you altogether. But know that Allah is with those who restrain themselves. Verily, the transposing of a prohibited month is an addition to unbelief. The unbelievers are led to wrong thereby, for they make it lawful one year and forbidden another year, in order to agree with the number of months forbidden by Allah, and make such forbidden ones lawful. The evil of their course seems pleasing to them, but Allah guideth not those who reject faith. O ye who believe, what is the matter with you, that, when ye are asked to go forth in the cause of Allah, ye cling heavily to the earth? Do ye prefer the life of this world to the hereafter? But little is the comfort of this life as compared with the hereafter. Unless ye go forth, he will punish you with a grievous penalty, and put others in your place. But him ye would not harm in the least, for Allah hath power over all things. If ye help not your prophet, it is no matter. For Allah did indeed help him when the unbelievers drove him out, being the second of the two. They too were in the cave, and he said to his companion, "Have no fear, for Allah is with us." Then Allah sent down his peace upon him, and strengthened him with forces which he saw not, and humbled to the depths the word of the unbelievers. But the word of Allah is exalted to the heights, for Allah is exalted in might, wise. Go ye forth, whether equipped lightly or heavily, and strive and struggle, with your goods and your persons in the cause of Allah. That is best for you, if ye but knew. If there had been immediate gain in sight, and the journey easy, they would all without doubt have followed thee, but the distance was long and weighed on them. They would indeed swear by Allah, "If we only could, we should certainly have come out with you." They would destroy their own souls, for Allah doth know that they are certainly lying. Allah give thee grace. Why didst thou grant them exemption until those who told the truth was seen by thee in a clear light, and thou hadst proved the liars? Those who believe in Allah and the Last Day ask thee for no exemption from fighting with their goods and persons, and Allah knoweth well those who do their duty. Only those ask thee for exemption who believe not in Allah and the Last Day, and whose hearts are in doubt, so that they are tossed in their doubts to and fro. If they had intended to come out, they would certainly have made some preparation therefor. But Allah was averse to their being sent forth, so he made them lag behind, and they were told, "Sit ye among those who sit inactive." If they had come out with you, they would not have added to your strength, but only made for disorder, hurrying to and fro in your midst, and sowing sedition among you. And there would have been some among you who would have listened to them. But Allah knoweth well those who do wrong. Indeed, they had plotted sedition before, and upset matters for thee, until the truth arrived, and the decree of Allah became manifest, much to their disgust. Among them is many a man who says, "Grant me exemption, and draw me not into trial." Have they not fallen into trial already? And indeed hell surrounds the unbelievers on all sides. If good befalls thee, it grieves them. But if a misfortune befalls thee, they say, "We took indeed our precautions beforehand." And they turn away rejoicing. Say, nothing will happen to us except what Allah has decreed for us. He is our protector. And on Allah let the believers put their trust. Say, can you expect for us any fate other than one of two glorious things, martyrdom or victory? But we can expect for you either that Allah will send his punishment from him or by our own hands. So wait expectant. We too will wait with you. Say, spend for the cause willingly or unwillingly. Not from you will it be accepted, for ye are indeed a people rebellious and wicked. The only reasons why their contributions are not accepted are that they reject Allah and His Messenger, that they come to prayer save lazily, and that they offer contributions unwillingly. Let not their wealth nor their children dazzle thee. In reality, Allah's wish is to punish them with these things in this life, and that their souls may perish in their very denial of Allah. They swear by Allah that they are indeed of you, but they are not of you, yet they are afraid of you. If they could find a place to flee to, or caves, or a place of concealment, they would turn straightway thereto with an obstinate rush. And among them are men who slander thee in the matter of the distribution of the alms. If they are given part thereof, they are pleased. But if not, behold, they are indignant. If only they had been content with what Allah and His Messenger gave them, and had said, Sufficient unto us is Allah. Allah and His Messenger will soon give us of His bounty. To Allah do we turn our hopes. That would have been the right course. Alms are for the poor and the needy, and those employed to administer the funds, for those whose hearts have been recently reconciled to truth, for those in bondage and in debt, in the cause of Allah, and for the wayfarer. Thus is it ordained by Allah, and Allah is full of knowledge and wisdom. Among them are men who molest the Prophet and say, He is all ear. Say, He listens to what is best for you. He believes in Allah, has faith in the believers, and is a mercy to those of you who believe. But those who molest the Messenger will have a grievous chastisement. To you they swear by Allah in order to please you. But it is more fitting that they should please Allah and His Messenger, if they are believers. Know they not that for those who oppose Allah and His Messenger is the fire of hell, wherein they shall dwell? That is the supreme disgrace. The hypocrites are afraid lest a surah should be sent down about them, showing them what is really passing in their hearts. Say, mock ye, but verily Allah will bring to light all that ye fear should be revealed. If thou dost question them, they declare with emphasis, We were only talking idly and in play. Say, Was it at Allah and His signs and His Messenger that ye were mocking? Make ye no excuses. Ye have rejected faith after ye had accepted it. If we pardon some of you, we will punish others amongst you, for that they are sinners. The hypocrites, men and women, are alike with each other. They enjoin evil and forbid what is just, and tighten their purses' strings. They have forgotten Allah, so He hath forgotten them. Verily, the hypocrites are rebellious and perverse. Allah hath promised the hypocrites, men and women, and the rejectors of faith, the fire of hell. Therein shall they dwell. Sufficient is it for them is the curse of Allah, and an enduring punishment. As in the case of those before you, they were mightier than you in power, and more flourishing in wealth and children. They had their enjoyment of their portion, and ye have of yours, as did those before you. And ye indulge in idle talk as they did. Their work are fruitless in this world and in the hereafter, and they are the losers. Hath not the story reached them of those before them, the people of Noah, and Ad, and Thamud, the people of Abraham, the men of Midian, and the cities overthrown? To them came their messengers with clear signs. It is not Allah who wrongs them, but they wrong their own souls. The believers, men and women, are protectors one of another. They enjoin what is just and forbid what is evil. They observe regular prayers, pay zakat, and obey Allah and His Messenger. On them will Allah pour His mercy, for Allah is exalted in power, wise. Allah hath promised to believers, men and women, gardens under which rivers flow, to dwell therein, and beautiful mansions in gardens of everlasting stay. But the greatest bliss is the good pleasure of Allah. That is the supreme felicity. O Prophet, strive hard against the unbelievers and the hypocrites, and be firm against them. Their abode is hell, an evil refuge indeed. They swear by Allah that they said nothing evil, but indeed they uttered blasphemy, and they uttered it after accepting Islam, and they meditated a plot which they were unable to carry out. This revenge of theirs was their only return for the bounty with which Allah and His Messenger had enriched them. If they repent, it will be best for them. But if they turn back to their evil ways, Allah will punish them with a grievous chastisement in this life and in the hereafter. They shall have none on earth to protect or help them. Among them are men who made a covenant with Allah, that if He bestowed on them of His bounty, they would give largely in charity, and be truly amongst those who are righteous. But when He did bestow of His bounty, they became misers, and turned back from their covenant, averse from its fulfillment. So He hath put as a consequence hypocrisy into their hearts, to last till the day whereon they shall meet Him, because they broke their covenant with Allah, and because they lied again and again. Know they not that Allah doth know their secret thoughts and their secret counsels, and that Allah knoweth well all things unseen? Those who slander such of the believers as give themselves freely to deeds of charity, as well as such as can find nothing to give except the fruits of their labour, and throw ridicule on them, Allah will throw back their ridicule on them, and they shall have a grievous chastisement. Whether thou ask for their forgiveness or not, their sin is unforgivable. If thou ask 70 times for their forgiveness, Allah will not forgive them. because they have rejected Allah and His Messenger, and Allah guideth not those who are perversely rebellious. Those who were left behind in the Tabuk expedition rejoiced in their inaction behind the Messenger of Allah. They hated to strive and fight with their goods and their persons in the cause of Allah. They said, "Go not forth in the heat." Say, "The fire of hell is fiercer in heat." If only they could understand. Let them laugh a little. Much will they weep, a recompense for the evil that they do. If then Allah bring thee back to any of them, and they ask thy permission to come out with thee, say, "Never shall ye come out with me, nor fight an enemy with me. For ye preferred to sit inactive on the first occasion. Then sit ye now with those who lag behind. Nor do thou ever pray for any of them that dies, nor stand at his grave. For they rejected Allah and His Messenger, and died in a state of perverse rebellion. Nor let their wealth nor their children dazzle thee. Allah's wish is to punish them with these things in this world, and that their souls may depart while they are unbelievers. When a surah comes down, enjoining them to believe in Allah and to strive and fight along with His Messenger, those with wealth and influence among them ask thee for exemption and say, "Leave us behind. We would be with those who sit at home." They prefer to be with the women who remain behind at home. Their hearts are sealed, and so they understand not. But the Messenger and those who believe with him strive and fight with their wealth and their persons. For them are all good things, and it is they who will prosper. Allah hath prepared for them gardens under which rivers flow to dwell therein. That is the supreme triumph. And there were among the desert Arabs also men who made excuses and came to claim exemption, and those who were false to Allah and His Messenger merely sat behind. Soon will a grievous chastisement seize the unbelievers among them. There is no blame on those who are infirm or ill, or who find no resources to spend on the cause. If they are sincere in duty to Allah and His Messenger, no ground of complaint can there be against such as do right, and Allah is oft forgiving, most merciful. Nor is there blame on those who came to thee to be provided with mounts, and when thou saidst, "I can find no mounts for you," they turned back, their eyes streaming with tears of grief that they had no resources wherewith to provide the expenses. The ground of complaint is against such as claim exemption while they are rich. They prefer to stay with the women who remain behind. Allah hath sealed their hearts, so they know not. And know that out of all the booty that ye may acquire in war, a fifth share is assigned to Allah, and to the Messenger, and to near relatives, orphans.